Welcome to the Holding Priority Podcast, the Magic the Gathering CDH podcast. I'm Cardboard Cryptid.
No, I'm the Gaming Ghost.
On today's episode, we'll discuss how we became Ironman through the Final Fantasy pre-release.
No tech though. We don't have the suits, but it was cool.
The cardboard suit with all those AI videos of people like suiting up like on Facebook.
And got the Buster Sword and just running around.
Well, we did that with just like cards.
Oh yeah, just
like
have
those
glue them.
Those card hats that people have. Like
it was a lot of glue sticks.
Before we get into what that means, because I'm pretty sure everybody's confused, let's go into the shuffle up. That's not the right button. Let's go into the shuffle up. I'm keeping it. I'm not taking that out. You guys get to enjoy that. This is a behind the scenes. So we had a lot of interaction on our Final Fantasy stuff. I think you guys really liked that, and I really liked it too, so I appreciate it. We had a couple comments from Hazard Man TV. Not as strong commander cards as I thought. However, some of them will really shake things up. Yep. I definitely expected after the main set, the commander set, to just like blow commander out of the water. And there were a couple cards that I was like kind of excited for in the 99. But I mean, for the most part, the commander set, I was like, there's some cool stuff. Definitely cool stuff for like kitchen table, like commander, but not really like tournament play.
From the commander set, not so much, but I think in the major set, there's at least two for sure. We'll see.
I think Lock was the only thing I was excited about, and then like the Magicite, like instant card that just exiles all graveyards, and then the little white dwarf, whatever.
That's tap treasures.
Yeah.
All of those are pretty good.
Yeah. I think there was only those three that really stuck out to me, and then Yashodel I've seen people mess around with, but I think Yashodel. I don't know. You guys will have to watch that episode to really. we're like 2 weeks removed from it, but I've seen people playing around with that one. I don't think that one will stick around. I think some people will play it and just be like, "This is my jam. That's what I'm going to play." Because I mean, I'm there with Hashton. Honestly, like no one's playing that commander but me. But I like that no one's playing it. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that spot at the table when you're in a tournament or something that people may have an idea of what you do, but don't really see the curve before it hits.
Most people within 2 hours of our community knows what Hashton does now. After 2 top 16s and a top 4. So.
Yeah, but I mean, like in those tournaments, they were kind of shaky.
Oh yeah. So. And then we have Cully Cuniff 1776. Y'all have really good in-depth analysis of these commanders and CDH wise, how their placement is. Just hearing about play patterns and ideas of how games might play out is awesome. If that is something that you guys want more of, please let us know. There's a lot of content coming out about Magic. It does look like about 2/3 of our podcasts are always going to be about set reviews. I would love to put the main and commander set in one video, but it's
too much.
I don't have the willpower to not talk about the cards as much. like I'll listen to our stuff and I'm like, we talk about Winota a lot for people that don't play Winota and Winota doesn't place, but I love Winota. Like Winota has such a good spot in my heart.
Yeah, it's one of those decks that's always 3 cards away from being in the top. I think it's scary,
or the right person away from being in top.
Exactly.
And that is our comments from the Final Fantasy set. I do want to remind y'all that we do have a link tree. The TCG player link is our affiliate link. It lets them know that we sent you. It helps out the podcast a lot. If you guys like the sound effects that we add, even whenever I press them in the wrong order, that was completely purchased through the TCG player link. So that support does go right back to the podcast. We really appreciate it. We're going to make this thing as good as possible. And it seems like everybody's enjoying it a lot. The other thing that we do have on the Linktree is just a bunch of random links to things that we think are important. One of those is our social media. Reminder, we are on YouTube. We're really close to 100 subscribers. We're pretty popular on podcast platforms. YouTube, for some reason, we're not as popular, and that, no complaints, but it'd be cool to hit that 100 subscriber mark, because I think that's when everybody starts really going like, oh, they have us 100 subscribers, like, let me listen to them. So that helps a lot if you're not subscribed. Comments are always cool. We'll always read them in the shuffle up every time. So if you want to say anything, even if you want me to be like, I eat poo poo, if you comment that, I will read it. And then we do have a link to our Discord. A lot of y'all have taken us up on that. Thank you. I think we've gotten 5 people this week, and it's grown to be a pretty big community. Seems like a lot of people are interested in CDH that either used to play Commander for a long time. They've been kind of seeing the content on YouTube. They want to learn more about it, and I'm really, really happy that y'all are wanting to learn more about it from us. That is so cool. Like, thank you. Got a lot of good resources for you guys there. There's a whole channel of links to check out like tournaments so that you know what you're doing, what decks are doing well. Always happy to field questions. I think I've been in the Discord a dozen times a day for the last week, and it's really cool interacting with y'all. So if you have not joined, there's a pretty good community popping up there. It is still small, but small communities are good communities. So if you'd like to join us, please do.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody that joins and everybody that checks us out. It's just, we wouldn't do it without you, or maybe we wouldn't have as much to do without you guys.
Yeah, I'm really honored that, because I'll watch YouTube and every once in a while I'll get a little, not really sad, but like I'll get a little discouraged because I'm like, there's so many CDH creators out there. Like, how are we gonna find our footing? And then whenever people choose us over everything else, I'm just like, that's so cool. Like, thank you guys so much. It's really appreciated.
I don't know if we've said this enough, but it's also around the world. Yeah, so it's not just local or something like that.
We have somebody from Australia on our Discord.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We have about 10% of our viewers on podcasts from Germany, which I think is really cool. We have a friend that is in Korea, and they'll tell us about like card shops there, like, you know, certain things about cards there. Like, one of the things that they were telling me about is Korea, the cost of living is much lower than the United States, but the price of Magic cards is the same price there. Oh, so they're looking at boxes and they're just like, I could buy a used car for this, or like, you know, like we'll look at a box and be like, oh, a collector's box of Final Fantasy right now is like a month's rent, and they're looking at it and they're like, this is 2 to 3 months rent for us, and like, you know, still taking part, which is really cool. But it was really interesting because I would have never thought that like the price of Magic cards would be different over somewhere else, even though that like the number is the same. It's just their cost of living is lower, so it's 2 to 3 times higher to them. Like, that would be like us looking at a $3,000 Magic box, which I really would never go there. Like, I didn't even buy a collector's booster. Like, I got the pre-order price, and the pre-order price was about almost a third less than what it is now. And I was just like, Magic is getting so expensive. You know?
It's crazy that there's that much dedication to a game that we all enjoy to play, and y'all choose to listen to us. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, also the other thing that's cool about Commander is I put a card from Final Fantasy in. I had 3 that I was looking at to put in my deck, and I put 1 in. I tested it. I didn't like it, and nothing in my deck is different. So like I could have completely skipped out on this set. I was never going to do that because it's Final Fantasy, but yeah, I could have completely skipped out on this set, and my main deck would not have been any different. So I like that. I mean, not always are sets optional. Like I will say Lord of the Rings in retrospect was not optional. Like so many staples came from that set for CDH. But it's cool to see that like Final Fantasy is like a very sought after, expensive set, and my deck runs just fine with no Final Fantasy cards.
I've added one to my deck. I've just been quite busy as of late, so I haven't been able to really play as much as I would like to.
Yeah, same.
But I would be. I think we're looking at a tournament coming up in the future, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out.
10 days away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very soon. Yeah. And then always, please remember, if you're on YouTube, to comment, like, and subscribe. If you like to listen to us on any of the podcast platforms, please set us to auto download if you have that option. I believe all of them do. That really helps a lot. I've really noticed that whenever we release an episode, y'all immediately jump in and listen to it. Huge thank you. It's really interesting because first day we'll get a lot of views. Second day, not as many, but still a lot. So people are still just like, oh, wow, I got a notification. Like, I'm going to listen to this tomorrow. So it's very clear that you guys are supporting the channel, and I really appreciate it. So on to the Ironman. So recently we had the opportunity to play Magic for 20 hours straight.
And who would say no?
Yeah. We've both been kind of busy. I was taking a little bit of a break because I've been job hunting. Just life has gotten in the way of Magic, unfortunately. Really wish it didn't, but it did. So our opportunities to play have maybe been like once every 2 weeks, if that.
It's been pretty minimal.
Yeah. And we had this opportunity to plan out a really cool group trip about an hour and a half away from us, where there was an Ironman pre-release. So it was 4 pre-releases, I believe. Yeah, 4 5-hour pre-releases.
I was going to say 5.
Back to back to back to back. And
which sounds great at first.
Oh, it was, yeah. Like I mean, in retrospect, now that I've gotten some sleep, it was great. But yeah,
and not that I was upset with it. It was just the extent of it was the undertaking I was putting myself into was not fully realized until 5 o'clock in the morning.
I was about to say I did not prepare for it as much. We invited a friend from, basically it was an hour and a half away from us and also an hour and a half away from one of our friends, and they came to join us, and I hadn't seen them for probably like a little bit over a year. So it was really, really cool to have my friend over, and then infinitely cooler to have them play Magic with us because they had not really been playing Magic recently. They're a huge Final Fantasy fan. They play the Final Fantasy MMO, and they were just like, this is the set that I want to collect. I'm really excited about it. I don't really know how to do that. Can you help me? And then, we were talking about it, and I was just like, we have a pre-release. It's going to be 4 pre-releases back to back. Probably going to be playing like 12 hours, I think is how I sold it. And yeah, it was longer than that. If you're listening, I'm sorry, but like,
sorry.
We made a weekend of it. It was a lot of fun, and I'll kind of go into the mechanics of it. So the pre-release started at 5 p.m. I want to say.
I think it was closer to 7. No, it had to be like 6.
Yeah,
because we started the next one around 9 or 10.
Yeah. I think it was 7 to 12. No, that doesn't. Yeah,
that doesn't fit. I think it was about 6 or 7 we started. Yeah. And then we started another one around 10.
Yeah. Because there was one at midnight. There was one at 5 a.m. Oh, yeah. No, so it was 7 to 12, 12 to 5, 5 to 10, and then 10 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is right. So it did start at 7. And you would think 5-hour pre-releases. I assumed that we would just be playing for 4 hours and then we would have an hour downtime. That was not accurate. We ran over most of them.
I would go from last game to box in hand, starting the next one. It was a lot.
I had forgotten, because you think like four rounds, right? But you don't think about the hour it takes for everybody to open up all their packs, make their deck, all of that.
And then just settling down.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of, I think I want to say the first round, we had hit a record in the store for number of people to the pre-release.
It was 124.
It was a lot.
Yeah. So Takir brought in 120. And even though people knew that there was 120 last time and it was packed, they still went to 124, which was a record for the store. And the store is giant. I mean, to be able to support, the crazy thing was not only were they supporting pre-release, they were supporting the Star Wars TCG at the same time and something else. I don't remember what that third one was.
Well, that was closer to the end, but
even when we got there, there was something else going on. So like this place is like busy. They have like their main area that's like where they do pre-releases, but they do have other places that are like little offshoots. And they have a cafe too, which I assume the cafe would be open all night. It closed at 1 a.m., which seems really reasonable, and it was really reasonable. But yeah, when you're there for 20 hours straight, it's kind of interesting. But it was a lot of fun. The first one was definitely the most fun. What I did was every single pre-release, I gave myself a kind of like a quest to do based on what cards I pulled. And I'll share each one as I remember, but for the first pre-release, the thing that I pulled was Jumbo Cactar. And I was like, okay, I've got to kill somebody with Jumbo Cactar. Like, I have to hit somebody for 10,000 damage this pre-release. And I knew that there was a red card that was basically, you could just sack them and toss. And then there was a equipment that would give it surprise flying or trample. And I ended up getting the equipment that would give it surprise flying. So I was just like, I'm going to make a green, white, red deck to support this quest. I did get lightning and I got Jumbo Cactar. And I have to hit at least one person with a flying Jumbo Cactar for 10,000. And I played through and I got to do it on my third round. And I went 4-0, undefeated, because lightning in the pre-release was OP. A lot of people did not realize that with Double Strike, she hits and then her ability to double everything goes on the stack, and then everything else with normal combat hits. So that's all doubled or whatever. And it was really easy to kind of sneak in wins. And then I actually was losing one round, and I think I had like 5 life, and the person across from me had 30. They were like a life gain deck, and I was just like, oh, okay, like I gotta get this Jumbo Cactar. And I, from 5 life to their 30, hit them for 10,000 and ended up winning that set. And the way that this place did it was, for every win you got, you just got an extra pack. So we were looking at, I think it was like, what, 12 in the pre-release kits? 12 packs?
And all of them?
Well, like in one pre-release, I think, no, there's like 8 or 9.
Yeah, there's like, I think it's closer to 6.
Yeah, there was enough to where, like, on average, we got about 10 packs per pre-release. So we're walking away with 40 packs of cards, like more than a box for less than a box, which was really, like, less of the price of a box, which was really cool. And just the experience and all of the promo cards too. The promo cards are worth a lot. But I went undefeated in the first round, and I built a pretty cool deck, and I was a little sad to retire it at the end, when we wrapped up at midnight. So how was your first round?
So I had a similar scenario where I pulled a um, Knights of the Round, and I was like, I have to ult Knights of the Round on somebody. Like, I just want to. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know any other way to do this. So it was like a green, white, blue, I think is what I went with.
yeah.
Which
I was like, I don't care if this costs me a pack because I like diddled around. Like, I want to do it.
and to be honest with it, like I almost ulted it in like one of the games, and then I got it the last one, and I
Yeah.
was like, "This is amazing."
I was over your shoulder too, and I was just like, "This is so cool."
Yeah, Knights of the Round win, and the guy pretty much knew.
Yeah.
Like he looked at it and he was like, "There's no way I'm gonna win this here," and I was like, "Just let me hit you with Knights Round."
That was the thing that was interesting that I'm not used to with CDH, where it was like it would get to a point that like even though there were probably three or four turns left, you could just look and be like, "This is over." Like, can we just go the next game? Like, I don't feel like I'm giving up. Like, you are just so far ahead and no one is here to help me. Like I can't point at you and go, this guy's a threat. It's, oh, this guy's scary and I'm the only one that is here to stop him and I can't stop him. And there's nothing in my deck that can stop him because I just didn't pull any removal. So yeah, this is done. You want to go to the next round? Like,
I ended up probably with 2 additional packs. I wouldn't say I just swept the team or swept the round, but I mean, it was fun. I got
yeah.
Knights of the Round out just about every game, which I mean, that in itself is a feat. So
I pulled so many Ifrits throughout the entire night. I would say I had a full play set without fail every single pre-release pack. Like it was insane. Like
I would like to say I got some really good cards, but I don't think I did.
I'll save that for the end, but I don't want to give any spoilers. But yeah, I got good stuff.
I mean, I did get some things that were efficient, especially in the first one.
Yeah.
And my first round was probably the first and second were probably my better two, but the first one for sure, getting the Knights of the Round and beginning that big of a pre-release, like it was a good experience.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of fun with that.
One thing I forgot. So my friend that was there, I wasn't really too sure. I knew that they had played Magic in the past, but I didn't know how good they were at like drafting and deck building. So I was kind of like focused on my stuff, and like it definitely did help out like here or there, but they were very self-sufficient, and I believe their first round person didn't show up. So my first round, I literally won in 5 minutes, and we're talking about like I won both sets in 5 minutes. Like it was that quick. The person just each time did not get their lands, and I felt pretty bad, but I was like, well, this is an aggro deck. I can play it as an aggro deck. Like I gotta just push in the win. So I went over and I saw that they were just sitting there, and I was like, oh, you won real quick too? They're like, no, my opponent didn't show up. You already won? And I was like, yeah, yeah, I did. What'd you get? Where you and they had built like a really good deck. But it was a lot of the people there. There weren't very many people there, especially in the later pre-releases, that were just starry-eyed about Final Fantasy. Pretty much everybody that was there was like, "Oh, I'm here to win. I'm here every single like set."
That's also a big thing for me because if you've ever played a pre-release or a draft, there is a skill to it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not just you'll have the people that are like, well, my packs were trash, and that happens sometimes.
Oh,
But
that happened to me multiple times.
but my thing is the people that are good at it, even with trash packs,
They'll figure it out.
Seem to glue something together,
Yeah.
and make it crazy. So
yeah, like I remember Tarkir. I didn't feel like I pulled very well, and the person that usually wins it. I was in the first round with, and I held my own, and I was pretty surprised. But I had luckily pulled Corey Steelcutter, and today we know that's a really good card. It's banned that like in standard. That's how good it was.
Oh, really?
But they were like, oh yeah, this card. Right now it has a certain win percentage. If it's played like 60%, and if it's in your deck literally has like a 54% chance to win, which is 4% better. I was just like, oh, okay. So like I just look at the cards before they come out because like we do, a podcast on them and I'm usually watching the spoilers. Like this person gets into like the data and it was like
statistics.
The pre-release. So I don't know how they had the data, but like they knew a lot about it. And for me, the pre-release, it's fun to win. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to win. But the pre-release is more like all of these cards that I kind of know what they do. I just want to stick them together and see what synergizes and what doesn't. Like, can I build a Chocobo deck or a Cahobo or Chocobo?
Jakubo.
Yeah, Chocobo. We've heard a lot of like really weird pronunciations, which I mean we've done a lot of really weird pronunciations of these words, but
for sure.
But for me, Chocobo is such a like staple in my life that's weird to hear people mispronounce.
I mean, we pretty much started like, I think you started at 6 and I started at 7.
I started at Final Fantasy 7 and I liked 7 so much that I played 8 and I thought 8 was going to be a sequel. And I was sad when it wasn't. But I got the demo disc with Brave Fencer Musashi, so I didn't buy the game yet. And I thought it was going to be a sequel, and it wasn't. And I still liked it a lot, but I was expecting it to be a sequel. And because I liked 8, or because I liked 7 so much, someone was like, well, you should really play 6. And I played 6, and I was like, okay, this was really good. Like if I had started with 6 would probably be my favorite. Final Fantasy 7 was just my favorite because I had pretty strict parents that I couldn't play fighting games where you could beat up a girl. Like I was supposed to just immediately surrender the match if I was matched against a girl. Wow. Or like I couldn't get any FPS games because my parents thought I was going to go postal if I had a digital gun behind me. Somehow I would play a FPS and then a real gun would show up in my hand and I'd just be like, ooh, life's a game. Pap, pap.
That's a new meaning to Duck Hunt.
Yeah, but it was the first game that I ever played that had swearing in it. And I just remember like reading the text, and I think it was Barrett swore in like the beginning, and I was just like, oh, like looking over my shoulder to see if my parents were like watching me, like. And because of that, I was just like, oh my god, this is so edgy. I'm so cool. I would be Cloud, or like I would be Sephiroth. Who would I pick? Would I pick Terrace, or Eris, or Tifa, or or Yuffie, or
I think for me, I've played 7 in lifetime, maybe 4 or 5 times, easily, all the way through, and
over a dozen. Like unfortunately for me,
I was being modest.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those things where I probably put 100 hours into one of my playthroughs, but.
I think I talked about this last time, but I bought a memory card specifically for Final Fantasy 7 so I could save every 2 hours, and at any point I could be like, ooh, I want to go back and like do this, and then within 2 hours I could do this part of the game that I liked, like over, like.
But anyway, off of this tangent,
yeah,
we this Ironman was. The first one, I was all starry-eyed.
Oh yeah, I was having a lot of fun. Like
it was really good. The first one, the second one, I was still on that high.
Yeah, I will say that I did not pull cards. I did not pull cards I was as excited about in the second one, and I had a tough time putting the deck together. And I was also, I mean, it was midnight, so I was getting a little eepy. How was your second round though?
So for mine, it was. It's gonna sound bad. I had good commons and uncommons, but no real like oomph to the play. Like, and I went with I think I went with green, white, blue, the first one. So I was like, I'm gonna go green, white, red, and I realized that the luck wasn't spread evenly through some of the other opponents, because I ended up playing somebody that got like 2 squalls, and
the equipment was really good. The Lionheart, I was surprised. Like
he got 2 of them, and then he had 2 Buster Swords.
Oh,
and I was like, what?
That's insane. I didn't pull a single Buster Sword still. Like,
and he played the first one, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I was pretty lucky this one. And then the next one was his promo.
Yeah.
Of the Buster. I was like, you got a promo Buster Sword?
I have not pulled a Buster Sword or a Cloud in all of the packs I've opened still. So like,
I remember that game. I had so much life gain.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't remember how I was doing it, but he was hitting me for like 15 a hit, and I was healing for like 16.
Yeah.
A hit. So I was like, man, we could keep going, but it's clear I'm not going to win this.
My goal at this point is to deck you. Like,
I was like, I tell you what, I'll shake your hand and tell you won this one.
The other thing too was because it was per win, there were a lot of times where I'd be like, technically I think we would tie, but let's just say whoever has the highest health at the end like gets it, so that at least one of us gets the pack. Like,
I was gonna go there on the third one.
Yeah.
Because the third and fourth pre-release rounds, I was like, you know what? Yep, you win it.
Yeah.
But no, the second one was more of a grind. Like I really enjoyed it. Like I was still kind of, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to build a deck.
Yeah.
And I think I maybe got like 1 pack. I didn't do too well that one.
I did. So I went from a high of 4-0 to, I opened all of my packs and I was looking at all of the cards like divided out, and I was like, I don't even know where to start. Like, usually at least one of my pulls is good enough to where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna build the deck around this. Like this card was good, and I just didn't get that this time. I think I ended up going black, red, blue, and I got the 1 cost counterspell from the set, and I also got normal counterspell from the set. The one where you can sacrifice a legendary creature to counter a spell or like trick, like stifle an ability.
It's like
some weird. I can picture the art, but like
it's a blue 1
weird.
cost.
Yeah,
and it costs 3 if you don't. It's something sucks or something. I don't know. I can't think of what Louis sucks.
I thought that you could cast it for 1 or sacrifice a legendary creature and cast it for free.
No, it's 1, and then you can pay 2 without sacking it, I believe. It's like Louis Socks or Louis 6 or Louis Socks or something.
I just remember that I got 2 counter spells, and I was just like, here it is. So it's Louis So's Sacrifice, blue as an additional cost to cast the spell. Yeah, okay. So it does cost at least 1, and then if you don't sacrifice, it costs 3. That's right.
Oh, I was about half right.
Yeah. But I got 2 counter spells, and I was like, I want to play with interaction in a pre-release. So I did red, black, blue, and I went 2-0. The red creatures kind of carried me. The blue and the black just didn't really do much. I had a hard time with that one. It was really hard to look at the cards and know what to do. I still went 2-0, but even the ones that I won were like tooth and nail. Like, probably shouldn't have won them, but like someone made a mistake or something like that. And you have to remember that this started at midnight and it went till 5. Huh?
It went. Oh, this one did.
The second one.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you. I was like,
so
went to 3. Like,
yeah. So we ended up. I think it was a smaller group, about like 20, and I remember this from the first round because it'll be relevant later. Someone in the first round was coming back for the 10 a.m. pre-release, and I told them that I was doing the Ironman. They were like, "Oh, maybe we'll play again." Spoiler: we did play again. Like they got a full 10 hours of sleep and came back. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I think everybody was still pretty high on Final Fantasy. We were all having a lot of fun. Almost everybody that did the midnight was there for the first one, and they just stayed over. One or two people did join at midnight, but most everybody was about as tired as we were. Like, you could see it in everybody's eyes that they were like, it was interesting because you'd see like dark circles under a couple of people's eyes, but like the joy of life in their actual like eyes. So it was interesting to see all of these like tired people, me included, just being like, "Oh yeah, this is so cool." Yeah. But I went 2-0. I wasn't really too interested in that deck. I did get to counter a couple things, and it was really cool to like leave mana up and then all of a sudden be like, oh, wait, don't cast a second spell. Counter. Like it was a weird experience to leave up mana for interaction in a pre-release. So I enjoyed that. Didn't do as well as the first round, but I mean, it was only down from there. 4-0 is, you can't do any better.
I agree.
Yeah.
We were I would say the first one, I was at the top of this roller coaster. The second one, I was still there.
Yeah. The cafe was amazing. So it closed at, I want to say one or two, and they had a buffalo chicken and waffle fries or something like that, and it hit. Like, it was so good. Like,
I don't remember. I was gonna say round 3 is when I was like, you know what, I don't care what's happening here. You can just win it. I'm gonna go get some food.
Yeah, and the cafe was what had all of the food stuff. So like, you couldn't just decide, oh hey, I'm gonna buy a monster at the register. Like, the store outside of our pre-release was shut down, and we were locked in. And there was at one point, I think, well, I'll get into that in round 3, but yeah, pretty much round 2 is when we started to get locked in, and we all knew that we were going to be there for a long time. So like, we had somewhat prepared. Like, I brought electrolyte packs. I had a water bottle. My water bottle was I thought there was going to be a water fountain there. There was not. And my water bottle was a little too long to get sink water. So I was like putting it under and then putting my hand, like cradling it to get the water from my hand into it. And it was just not a great experience. I don't really know what I would have done differently other than had like a sling of just water bottles or something. But yeah, it was
like Rambo.
Yeah, I did not prepare. I did not listen to our previous podcast. I did not listen to the advice in that one. I was just so excited to have a friend come visit and so excited to go that we had talked a little bit about prep, but for the most part, we were like, let's just go. Like, I'm excited. Like, we'll get some stuff. We'll get some energy drinks. We'll get the basic stuff, but basic stuff is not, I'm getting locked in here for 20 straight hours.
I think my problem with that too was that I knew that there was a cafe at this place. I did not think that it was just going to close.
Yeah, and I did not think, I knew that the kitchen would close. I did not think that the drinks and the snacks would close.
Agreed.
Yeah. But we had luckily communicated between all of us, and I think you bought like 4 energy drinks before they closed.
Yes. Yeah, I had a few.
So we were Brother Ghost had taken care of us and was there to dish out the energy that we needed.
Well, come the third round, there, that we're older, and when we're pushing 5 o'clock in the morning,
yeah,
or 4 o'clock, It's past my bedtime.
Yeah. So round 3 started at 5 a.m. in the morning, and they had moved us into the cafe because the cafe was closed, but it was big enough to have us in there because there was a Star Wars tournament that was starting at the around 4.
It was like, no, I think they were coming in at like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
it was insane.
But they had like pushed us into there, which I mean was fine. We only had about like 20 people, but I mean that's 20 people that had been playing for the last 10 hours straight. And it was interesting because that cafe faced the sky, like you could see the sky from the cafe, and it was pointed towards where the sun rose. So like that was another round where I had not really gotten much. I think I ended up leaning into red green again. I think it was like a chocobo kind of deck. It was fun. It was one of those, like, again, I didn't really know what to do. I did pull Vivi though, and I thought about making just a straight up Izzet deck, but the more I looked, Izzet is not a great pre-release experience. I've done it multiple times and it's just not really gone there. And Vivi's good in Commander because Vivi is always accessible, but to know that Vivi is somewhere in my deck and for me to even have a chance, I need to pull him out, and I have one of them, and if he's gone, he's gone. I decide not to build that way. I probably could have put some dual colors in, but my brain was not there. Like my brain couldn't do it.
That was my next thing was, I built a deck. I remember getting Cactar, so I know it had green in it.
Yeah.
Maybe white and maybe blue. I think that's where I went.
Yeah.
However, I remember being like, man, I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
And I looked around and like the judge was nodding off, sitting.
The judge. Yeah. When you're done, I'll talk about the judge. Like,
no hate to him because what a soldier. Like he was there all night, all day.
My exact thing. So you assume that usually, like pre-releases, the shop owner is the judge. This place, because they have such a big pre-release, they actually bring a judge in. And you would assume that poor soul would not have to be there for 20 hours straight. Because judging is hard work. And also, they're not really able to play. They had been able to sneak in a couple of pre-releases just because our numbers got so low that they didn't need to stay as vigilant. Like they could get up from their game and answer a question, or yell across the cafe to answer a question. But this person kept up their energy the entire time, like projecting the entire time, answering questions. They had to do the whole pre-release spiel every single time, answer everybody's questions about summons, how they worked, how sagas worked. This dude was like awesome. Like I will say at the end, he was getting a little cranky, and like 10% of how cranky I was. That's the first time I had seen any cracks in this like magnificent marble of a man. Like,
he had to be like Spartan or Greek.
Yeah, it was so many props to him. I thought that they were going to rotate out. I thought he was going to be able to go home. No, he stayed the entire time. And when we left, I'll go into it whenever we get to that round. But yeah, dude was awesome.
So it was so funny, and everybody was so thankful for him to be there. We had a judge question at my table, and I look over and I'm like, he's asleep, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what, whatever you think happened, it happened.
Yeah. I don't care. I've been playing for the last 14 hours. I don't care.
You got it.
You win.
But it was he had like his feet up on this couch, and he was like leaned back.
There's like a little selection of couches where like it was kind of like the chill out area. So there was a love seat and then 2 comfy couches and a table. And no lie, we're playing, and I think it was during the 3rd round. We're playing, and I just hear And I look over and it's somebody that won their matches, I assume, just face down into the couch and like classic Magic butt crack. Just hanging out. Like
way out there.
Way out. Like probably down to hole.
So I was during that third round and the fourth round, I'll kind of combine the mindset of these rounds.
Yeah.
But at one point I was like, man, I am tired.
Yeah.
And I look around and like there's a couple of people playing and they're just kind of like rubbing their eyes, just kind of slapping cards down. And then the people around it are knocked out.
Yeah.
Like there was one dude like face down drooling. Like
so I sleep with a CPAP machine. So my body, I'm not going to say I can't fall asleep, but my body is very resistant to just like falling asleep without some type of like breathing assistance. And there were so many people that were just like knocking out, and I was just like, I would love to do that. And I in fact did. Like, I think at the end of round 3, we were all sitting there and I was just like, I need to put my head down for like 10 minutes. I put my head down, and whenever I fall asleep, if I'm not prepared to fall asleep, my body heats up and I get real sweaty. So all I remember was putting my forehead down, and then all of a sudden I wake up and I feel like I'm like sticky with sweat, and I have a big old red mark. And I just hear like, all right, everybody get to their tables. You know, next round is, and I'm just like, whoa. And I'm like going to my like last round, and I have this big red mark on my head. And I was just like, oh no, did I actually like physically fall asleep? Like I've probably done that twice in the last year. You know?
Yeah, round 3 was the start of the endurance. Like I we were playing cards by sheer force of will.
The third round, we had actually went and asked what happens if we just go home.
Yeah, we just leave.
And they were really understanding, but like apparently a lot of people would sign up and then they just dip out of the second round and expect to get their third and fourth, and they're like, no, you have to stay till the fourth round. And I mean, we were prepared to do so. The thing that we were considering was we had an hour and a half drive home. So it was not, okay, we push, we get done, we jump in a car and we're 5 minutes to home. It's we push and we've got over 100 miles home.
So with that being said, this will be a big discussion at the end of the story here. Yeah. However, I'll refer you back to this moment where I say we're in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Texas. Yeah. Just remember that.
And yeah, well, I think that was pretty much everything from the third round. The only thing that happened was, so round 3 was from 5 to 10. So I'm not gonna lie, last round I just didn't care. I just did not care. The person that I was going against had a really weird deck, and they had a judge question or something like that, and they had beat me twice basically, and it was like they beat me once, and it was a very drawn out round 1. It took over half of our time. The second round they were kind of slow, which fair, they'd been playing for a really long time, and I just looked at them and went, you win. And they were like, what? And I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then they were like, oh, I can wait. And I was just like, I gotta go to the bathroom. This is not a quick thing. Like, you beat me round 1 pretty bad. It looks like maybe I could pull this out, but like, you can have the pack. And I was just like, all right. I went and I had my like, and this is probably TMI, but I had my morning bathroom time, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh, this is so weird. Like, normally I only go to the bathroom at the beginning of the morning around 7. Oh, it's 9. Like, I haven't slept. And as we're playing in the third round, The other thing about the bathroom is it's so epic. Like, I wish I could put a picture of it on screen, but there's literally a dragon on a mural, and there's a toilet, and the dragon is staring into the toilet on the mural, and you're like sitting down, and it looks like you're amongst the clouds taking a poop on a cloud, and there's a dragon just staring down into the bowl like, oh, what's that, what you doing? Like, so it was really surreal after playing about 14 hours of Magic and being sleep deprived to be like, this dragon's watching me poop. Like, but I did that, and then I ran over to Target real quick, and I came back with beef jerky, Powerades, and I think that was about it, because I was like, I need a refresher. Like, I cannot, I don't care about this fourth round right now.
So was this our last one, or was this the second time?
So this was the one where we saw the sunrise, and I took a picture of me and you sitting by each other, working on our round working on our game, and the sun is just coming up over the parking lot like by our shoulders, and I was just like, it's so weird to see the sun set and then the sun rise and there not be like any alcohol involved. Like,
so you missed a key point that was probably not important to you. However,
well, I talked about the dragon watching me poop.
I know.
That was the highlight.
No, no, because before he left, he was like, hey, I'm about to go to Target. Have you been to the bathroom?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a dragon. And hair's a little funky. Like, it's kind of messy. Beard's kind of going every which way. Same clothes.
Yeah.
Shirt's a little twisted.
I'm sure I had some BO going too.
And he's like Radagast. Like Radagast from The Hobbit. He's like, have you seen the dragon? I was like, Are you all right, Aaron?
So okay. I'm remembering this now. So I took a picture of the bathroom because it was so epic, and I put it in our Discord. And I was like, this is not like a meme I took off the internet. This is the bathroom I'm currently in, and I'm about to poop here. And this bathroom was hidden, though. Like, it was kind of tucked in the cafe. So there was like the main bathroom in the back that everybody was using. And it was not made clear that there was a bathroom in the corner of the cafe that was one of. So it didn't have signs or anything like that. It looks like it might just be like an employee lounge.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But and a lot of people didn't even know it was there. So I was like, hey, I found a hidden bathroom. There's a dragon in it. I pooped there.
Now this is like hour 14.
Yeah.
I'm playing some guy, just got done. And I'm like, oh, how'd you do? It's like, I don't know. I gave up on that one.
Yeah.
Have you been to the bathroom?
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's like, there's a dragon. I was like, sure there is. There.
Yeah. And there was.
Sure there is.
Yeah, there was.
And lo and behold, about 30 minutes later, it was my morning time, and I was like, I've got to go.
How about this? If you're in the Discord, the Holding Priority Discord, and you're listening to this and you want to see the bathroom, I'll put it in there. I'm not putting it anywhere else. So if you're curious about this bathroom, you got to join the Discord. It's in our link tree.
And at the time when he told me, I didn't know if he was just delirious, but it was. Yeah. It was there.
Yeah, it was epic.
I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, "This is kind of nice."
Top 10 poops I ever took, without a doubt.
As far as the deck I built, I really don't remember. I remember I had a combo that I was trying to do that was pretty sneaky.
Sorry, go ahead. I remembered my round 3. I'll tell you after.
I think that I was trying to do what you were doing with Cactar, because I had pulled one at some point.
Yeah.
And I just never got around it. Like, it just never did it. But, I mean, round 3 and 4 were starting to meld together. Yeah. I remember my last pre-release stuff. I think 2 and 3 started to meld.
So I remember exactly what I did for round 3. I thought this was a 3000 IQ play at the time. I looked at all my cards and none of them synergized, so I just went, I'll go 5 color. Like, so I did a 5 color deck, and it was 5 color like Esper summon strategy with Yuna and the black red landfall discard one, Rydia, I think. And I was like bragging it up where I was like, guys, I figured it out. We're so tired that we're thinking about making our deck only a couple colors. The secret here is we just do 5 colors and just not care. We just take the cards we like and we put them in the deck. Yeah, that didn't work. I went 2-0, which, I mean, 2-0 for that time at night. Morning, pretty good. But everybody else was really tired too, so.
So that, the last pre-release.
Yeah, round 4.
That's, I was looking at mine, I was like, Cryptid had a genius plan. Yeah. I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah.
And yeah, no.
I pulled Kefka. So I pulled Vivi round 3. And I just threw him in. I never saw him. That's why I didn't remember. Round 4, I pulled Kefka. And round 4, this is where we're kind of giving up. We looked at each other and I was like, hey, we got to start round 4 for sure. We got to play a match in round 4. After that match, let's go home. Let's drop.
This was also talked about in front of the judge.
Yeah.
The judge was like, well, you got to get past this part in the tournament or the pre-release, and then after that, I'll give it to you. I get it. And
we had not explained that we were from 100 miles away at the time. So we had basically, I was like, I don't want to drop. I want to do the whole thing because we've made it this far. However, this is starting at 10. It's not going to end until 3 p.m. We're not going to get home until 5 or 6. Like, that sounds dangerous. Let's step foot in round 4, do a single round with our deck. If we're not having fun, let's all meet up and do the judge a solid because he's been here all night, and let him know that we're dropping so that he just doesn't make pairings and then all of a sudden we're not there, you know? And I'm like for it. Like, I'm usually the type of person that I'll push myself all the way there. And this is one of the first time where I gave my body that leeway of like, let's start it. Let's get a deck built, a round in, and let's go home. You know, like, and then we did it, and we all had kind of lost pretty quickly because you ended up going against the friend that we brought too. So I finished my round real quick, and then you guys were playing. So I knew exactly where both of you were, and we could have a decision without like messing up the game. And I was like, let me know if you guys want to drop. I'll go talk to the judge. And then finally y'all were like, yeah, I'm good here. Like, let's do it. And I was like, hey, you know, I hate to do this, but we're real tired and we've got like an hour to 2 hour drive ahead of us. Like, we really want to say, but we got to be safe. Like, I think we're going to drop. And the judge was just like, oh my God, you guys are from 2 hours away. And I was like, yeah, I was really, really excited to do an Ironman. And, you know, it's approaching noon, 1 p.m., you know, like, and he was just like, yeah, like, for sure. Thank you guys for coming out. For sure. Drive home safe. Like, you know, these guys, including me, we just got to drive down the street. Like, we'll be home before you guys are home, even with, you know, finishing. Let me get you, we have a prize for everybody that stayed all night. We thought we were going to give out 20 of them. Only really 10 people made it. So I'll give you 2 each for coming all the way out here. And it was a poker chip that said, I survived the Ironman thing
of the store. Like,
yeah.
I've survived Game Shop's name.
Yeah.
Ironman 20 blah blah blah.
And we got a Final Fantasy crystal dice bag. We got a little like a 3D printed like tile, I guess, that had a little wizard that was like
It was a treasure token.
It was a treasure token, but it was like the icon of the shop or something like that. Like they loaded us down with swag for like not only coming out but making it that far. And I was one of the only people out of us. We went and got our packs, because the way to get the packs is you'd go check in, tell them what you won. They check against the system. They'd write you down. So we went and got our packs. We were all walking away with like, it was so hard to keep everything organized too, because it was 4 different pre-releases where you had to make sure your old pre-releases didn't get mixed in your new stuff and still be able to move from table to table. So I had a Final Fantasy booster bundle that was my This Is Retired box, and I mostly filled up that bundle box fully with just pre-release stuff. So I was putting everything together, putting all of our swag. We went outside the shop and we're like, I know we're tired. We need to get a picture, for our Discords. Like, let's put the little things in our eyes so that we look like we're like, dead people going on the river Styx, and like take a selfie. And we got a group selfie, and then we're like, I don't think we talked much. We were just like, bye. Like,
no, there wasn't much conversation there. It was pretty, it's like, be safe.
Yeah.
I'd like to rewind to the beginning of it for a second.
Yeah.
Like, my experience the last round was, all of a sudden, there was a lot of people.
Yeah, I forgot.
So a lot of people the first one, normal pre-release amount the second one. Mm-hmm. The third one, 20 people-ish.
Because it was the Saturday 10 a.m. pre-release. So the people that couldn't do it Friday night, that could do it Saturday morning. So there were about 40 people. So like all of a sudden we went from like 15 really tired people to 40 like very bushy-tailed, like having McDonald's breakfast, in their hands,
yeah.
Kids.
It was, the shop opened.
Yeah.
There was so much hustle. It went from like dead tired to now there's 40 people in this cafe that maybe sits, 41.
Yeah. And I had completely forgot. So the only round that I played was against the guy that I played in the first pre-release that said he was coming back for 10 a.m. And I went against him. He was like, "You're still here, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Did not think you're going to make it all the way through." And I was like, "Didn't either, but I'm here." And I think he just felt sorry for, like, he definitely played. He didn't give it to me, but I think he just kind of felt sorry for me and was just like, "Yeah, you got it. Like, let's go on to the next one." And then was like, "Yeah, you got it." Like,
So I'm sitting down last pre-release, looking at all my cards, trying to figure out what to do. And my brain is way past mush, way past. And I'm looking at it and I was like, Cryptid had a great idea. Let's do 5 colors. This is big brain plays. Yeah. So I make this 5-color deck full of random stuff. Like I don't even know. I had to make sure that there was no double pips. If that makes sense. I didn't want 2 blues.
Or so like no counter spell or
Well, I didn't, in the deck building, I wanted single color identities. So if it was, let's say, Terra is 3 different color identities, but they're not white, black, red.
Yeah.
I just wanted white, black, red, or green, blue, whatever. Like whatever I could get that was just those.
Yeah, like counterspell is blue. That'd be hard to play.
It was something that I wasn't wanting.
Yeah.
So in that one, it worked out really well because I didn't get a lot of good cards. However, I got a lot of the lands. Mm-hmm. So I had so many of this land taps for red or blue. This one taps for blah, 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 blah,
like
blah.
They enter tapped, but they tap for 2 colors. Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect. So I built it out. I play our friend, and I just got tore up. The guys and the whole next group, it was so crowded. The sunlight was it was so bright.
Yeah.
You mentioned leaving, and I was like, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I played the first round. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
There was and nothing against her, or nothing against the child that was playing beside me, but they were so hyper. I was like, I don't even know what to do.
They were like 7 or 8 too. Like it was clear that the parent wanted to do a pre-release and then was just like, I'll pay for the kid and I just don't care what happens to them. Like, I'm going to play Magic. I'm going to pretend like they're not here. And, I'll be on the other side of the shop. Someone else needs to deal with them.
And granted, little kid having a blast.
Yeah.
Just to me, their level of energy and my level that wasn't existent wasn't mixing. I was like,
And I've definitely been at pre-releases where people do that with their like 13-year-old kid, and it's a little bit like more understandable because like Magic, I think Magic is 13 plus. Like back whenever those games like used to put like an age range on them, an 8-year-old playing Magic is kind of you're definitely putting a burden on the person that they get matched with, at that point.
I was really happy that they were having fun. However, the guy that was playing this kid had been there all night.
Yeah.
And he was saying rules, and I was like, oh, that sounds miserable to deal with. Like, and then when you walked up, I was like, oh yeah, we're good after this. And the judge, bless his soul, he was like, I didn't realize y'all were here thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great, like, I had a great time.
Gave us as much swag as we could carry.
He was like, take 2 of these.
Yeah.
Y'all want one of these too?
Yeah.
And
it was because he knew that we're famous podcasters.
Yeah, sure. I have no idea about that.
Like, he was like, "Oh, that's a cryptid and ghost. Like, I better. They're gonna talk the shop up real well."
He's like, "I want them to sign my chest."
Yeah, and we did. Yeah.
No, but anyway, we high five and whatever and get ready to go. This is where the endurance was a lot.
Oh yeah.
So we live probably 2 hours away. It's close to noon, if not like heat of the day.
It was 1 p.m.
It was hot.
Yeah.
And I am the type of person that whenever I'm sleepy, I will go to sleep.
Yeah, just shut down. Yeah.
So I started to get tired, and I was like, I'm going to go pull over. I'm going to sleep for an hour. Going to be okay. So, and mind you, heat of the day. I turn off my car, roll down my windows, turn off my car, take a nap. I sleep for about an hour. I try to drive again. I get a little further. I sleep again. Try to drive. It took me almost 4 hours. I didn't get home till almost 5.
Yeah. So we got. I'm pretty good at driving sleepy. Just multiple reasons. I think the biggest one is my body understands that I don't have a CPAP on and will keep me up because it knows that it needs the CPAP to like actually get good sleep. So we drive. We did have to make a stretch our legs stop. But me and my friend, like, going back, having a blast, still talking about it. They're super sleepy. I'm super sleepy. We left at 3 p.m. from my house the day before. We got back at 3:30. So we were legitimately gone for over 24 hours, no sleep. And then the other thing was, while we got back, we slugged it, but normally I can get that drive done in about an hour and a half. Probably took closer to 2 hours. Even with the stop, I was just driving real careful, going slow. We pass out at 3:30. I have an event that I need to go to at 9. And I was just like, I completely understand if you don't want to go. I got to wake up in like 5 hours. One of my friends had an event that was very close to their heart that they were participating in. And they wanted somebody to show up and take pictures of their like outfit and all that. And it was an event that my friend thought was really cool and wanted to go to as well. So we also went to sleep for like 5 hours and then woke up, and from 9 to like almost midnight, we're at a big convention type event down the street. So it was a day. Like we slept so hard. Like,
I left. I was probably gone 26 hours.
Yeah.
And when I got to the house and to the bed, I don't remember getting in bed. I do remember waking up 12 hours later.
Yeah. There was no conversation. Like, me and my friend got to my house. I think I was just like, you got everything you need, blanket, pillow, you need water, you need anything from the fridge, like, just help yourself. My house is your house. I'm going to my bed. And I remember offering the good host stuff, closing the door to my bedroom, and then my alarm going off. Like, I don't think I even took off my pants. I think I woke up in my like pants.
I don't. I think that I don't even think I had pants. I know for sure I didn't have pants on. I don't know if anything else was on.
The entire pre-release, you had no pants on. Actually, you were prepared the entire.
I was like, I'm going to bed wherever we're at. No, all in all, would I do it again in the future? Yes. I don't know if it would have to be a set that I was really excited about.
Yeah. I had seen that it was there for Takir, and I had a lot of fun with Takir pre-release, and I was a little sad that I didn't do it for Takir. And I knew Final Fantasy was coming up, and I knew that my friend was really excited, and I could probably offer it up and be like, hey, we can make a weekend out of it. Like, haven't seen you for a year. We talk every day. Let's hang out in person. This is a good midway point. Everything fell into place. Had a blast. Like, one of, as far as like a friend visiting, probably one of the best experiences, top 10, having a friend visit like in my life. Like, it was a lot of fun. Would I do it again anytime soon? No. I probably would do it once a year. And I think even once a year is pushing, because it would need, like, Avatar set coming up. As much as I love Avatar, probably couldn't do it again.
I wouldn't do it.
And maybe Avatar will come around, and then like we did, like, hype it up to a lot of people local to us. So I mean, if different people got interested in it, and they were, I wasn't babysitting them as far as like driving them there, like, I'd consider it for Avatar, but I would not do it for Spider-Man, and I love Spider-Man. Like it would have to be for the right set, and Final Fantasy was the right set. It was the right time. It was, the right people. Had a blast. Would I do it in 2025? Or 2026? Maybe.
I think the biggest for me was the ride home. I would not mind if I could get a ride. I would do gas. Like, yeah. If it was, hey, you go, I would even consider it if I had to pay for the thing for whoever was driving. Yeah. Like, but to me,
deal Avatar. Let's do it. No, I'm just kidding. It's recorded. Yeah.
I mean, I think I would. I think I could do that. I don't know if I would want. Let's see what the spoilers are for Avatar.
Yeah.
And if they're, because really we do this for CEDH cards. We don't really care about the standard. But
yeah, I mean, it was. So all I got was the pre-release cards and then a play booster because TCG Player, and again, if you're in the Discord, I posted it. TCG Player was doing this kind of crazy thing where normally whenever they have like steep discounts on everything, it's not for the new products. This was like almost 15% off for anything you bought through TCG Player that one day, and the play boosters for some reason that day were already really low, like they were kind of on sale. So I think I got a play booster for like 115, like, which was crazy, because you bought two as well.
I
like
did. I bought
it,
two.
It was such a good deal that I felt, and I like, you couldn't even use our affiliate links. Like, so like I was purely just advertising for TCG Player, like no benefit to myself, just wanted everybody to know how good of a deal was out there. And all I got was the pre-release packs and a play booster, and I got everything I wanted outside of Buster Sword and Cloud. And I didn't even really want Buster Sword and Cloud. I just like Buster Sword and Cloud. like but that is pretty much everything we had to say about the pre-release. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
It's been it was super fun. I think maybe we could do maybe in the future a what to bring, or how to pack or something. Yeah. But thank you guys for listening. If you made it all the way through.
Yep. And if you want to see the epic dragon bathroom, please ask in the Discord. All right. See ya. Bye.
See you guys.